Welcome back to our series on Lightspeed framework features. Today we will talk about the advanced features that are built into our grid system. Once users start interacting with our grid system using the standard features, the need for some advanced features is almost inevitable as they are looking to become more efficient. Let's log into the application to see what type of advanced functionalities are available for the grids in our framework. The first feature most users seek is the ability to build more complex filters. The standard configuration allows users to define up to 2 filter conditions per column, and there's no ability to group the filter criteria. This is where the filter builder comes in handy. Using the filter builder, you can define more complex criteria as well as group them. Let's say that we are interested in customers who are in the USA with the first name starting with the letter L, or those customers who are in UK with the first name starting with the letter A. If we were to use the standard grid filters, it will not give us the desired results. Let's walk through the advanced filtering to achieve the desired goal. As shown with this demo, the filter builder allows you to build more complex searches. When you open the filter builder for the first time, we take the standard filters that are applied and show them as a starting point in the advanced filter builder. When you close the advanced filter builder, we do our best to match the advanced filters to appear in standard filters, but sometimes it is just not possible. So we always recommend reviewing the applied filters in the filter bar at the bottom of the grid to make sure no complex filters are applied, as those may not be clearly indicated on the grid view. Once you have defined more complex filters, you have the option to save them as part of your grid view settings. This will save you a good amount of time for future uses of filter data. The second feature that is related to advanced filtering that our users have liked is the ability to filter by a checkbox list of allowed values, which is very similar to what users have in Excel. This type of filtering replaces the standard column filter and does require some configuration. Once configured, you have the option to select one or more allowed values and the data will filter for all the selected values. You have the option to define additional criteria to limit the allowed values as the data source for this is configured at design time. The third feature that brings productivity gain is the ability to freeze one or more columns so that when the users are scrolling the grid columns, the frozen columns are always visible. Let's see how you can freeze one or more columns in our application. The best part is that you can save these sticky options for selected columns as part of your grid view settings, which are then served the next time you access this automatically. Once users start feeling comfortable with the grids to slice and dice the data more efficiently, the next request which comes in is to bulk update some column values right from the grid, as compared to opening each record and updating those values. Our framework allows you to configure selected columns in a grid to be editable. When any column appears with the icon of a pencil, it is signifying that the values in this column are editable. If any visible column is editable on the grid, you will see an additional Save button and a Cancel button on the grid. These buttons are only enabled if there are any uncommitted changes. Our framework can handle text boxes, comment boxes, dates, checkboxes, and most of the standard controls for editing option. The framework will indicate if the values have been modified so that the users have a clear visibility as to which data elements were updated. You always have a choice to cancel the changes if you choose to do so. In case the logged in user does not have permission to edit the record, the option for bulk update will not be enabled, as security has been integrated with every feature of our framework. The next big feature, which makes every user more productive, is the ability to show related child data grids for the parent record right on the parent grid. Very often, the related child data grids are only accessible by drilling into the record. This feature is also known as a grid-in-grid functionality. In order to provide flexibility, you can customize which child grids are accessible on the parent grid so that the users are not overwhelmed. In addition, the loading of the child grids is only done on demand, keeping the security access rights of the child grid into account, thereby making the operation more efficient. As we follow our dry approach, the same child grid that is visible under the record is shown to the user when viewed on the parent grid. This also helps you to define your customizations only once, as they will appear on the other instance automatically. As security of the data is very critical in any application, we have seen that very often there are multiple implementations of the same dataset with multiple grids, where the difference is primarily limited to visibility of some sensitive data columns. In our vision for a single instance of dataset, you can define the rules that are based on security or other conditions. These rules can then hide certain columns out of the dataset and not visible on the grid while keeping the single implementation. A perfect example is like Social Security number data element. If a user's security does not allow access to Social Security number data element, the details of that column will simply not be sent to the grid view, thereby hiding the sensitive data. This functionality even extends to the export functions. So the sensitive data, if not given the right permissions, will not be in the export data as well. Lastly, in case the data that is shown on the grid is related to another entity, like in our case, customers have an attribute of country, you can configure the country column to act as a hyperlink, which will then take you to the country edit or show page, depending on your security permissions. In case you do not have any security permissions to the related entity, the hyperlink will simply not be shown. This allows users to manage multiple entities from a single grid. Now that you have seen some of the advanced features of our grid system, we are confident that you will find them handy, and these will make you more productive. Most of these features can be implemented by metadata and very little code in Visual Studio, thereby saving many hours of development effort. Thanks for watching, and we encourage you to watch other features of Lightspeed framework. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact us.